Hello guys and welcome to this week's video, and I've been asked the question, how thick should the lines be in my cube? I mean, a roundabout answer is to say probably as thick as you want them to be. Because honestly, it's a cube, you get to make it however you want. But I know that is not a very satisfactory answer whatsoever, so I have come up with a few guidelines to help you go on your journey and create your own little perfect cube to worship and play to and be like, why don't I spend so much money on this? Yeah, let's start the video. Here is a rule that I like to use when figuring out lines in my cube. It's the +1 rule. So you have a set amount of stage 2s or whatever the top line is. You want at least 4 of them, then your stage 1s will have to be 5 and your basics will be 6. Each time you go down a level, you add at least one more card to the pool. And this is to prevent a drastic reduction in the viability of certain playstyles, because at the end of the draft, some people just have to draft a basic they don't need, and if you needed that basic and there's not too much of them in the cube, then it really reduces your ability to play that line within your deck. And I've noticed some people like to have more than just +1. Sometimes they'll have +1, sometimes they'll have +2. We did try a thicker line at first, but we just feel like it flows better when it's only a +1. And obviously there are some exceptions to these. For example, we both have Cleffa and Clefairy within our cube, but we don't have more Cleffas than Clefairies, and that's because of the weirdness of baby Pokemon. They act like basics. Cleffa also has a great role as in being a 1 of tech. It is not needed to evolve into Clefable, so therefore, if we look at Clefable, which is only 3, and we go down to Clefairy, with the rule +1, is only 4. And because of the unique way that baby Pokemon interact with other basics, it doesn't necessarily mean we need 5 Cleffa in order for the cube to work. And sometimes if there's a one of powerful Pokemon you want to evolve your basic into, but the basic works perfectly fine as its own kind of supportive mon. For example, we do this with the level X's in our cube. You don't necessarily need to follow the rule of +1 either, because if you have a Dialga level X and you're only playing one of it, you do not need to only play 2 Dialgas, because you can play as many as you want as long as they make sense on their own and work as an archetype. Then it doesn't matter how many Dialgas you use per level X. Another variable that will totally change how your cube is played and how many of each stage 1 you'll need is the quantity of rare candies. If your players are guaranteed 1 to 2 rare candies in your cube, then the number of stage 1s you need per line isn't a huge factor, and you can greatly reduce it in order for people to go from their basics to their stage 3s without having to go through all the stage 2 fluff within their drafting experience. Other ways that cubes are played also affects your line's thickness. If everything's a basic, it doesn't matter how thick your lines are, because it just matters how many of each card you have, because they're all basics. If you're doing a ton of variety of lines, and they're 1/1s or 2/2/1s or anything like that, if there's enough quantity of lines and they're thin enough, it means players are more likely to only cherry pick a couple of lines to focus on, meaning other players are more likely to get the ones they want, and that affects line thickness as well. I hope this video has been helpful. I know it's a bit on the short side, but if you found any of this useful, please make sure you hit that subscribe and like button for more content like this. I will see you guys all in the next week, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!